Red lentil. 8,000 years ago, before wheat was widespread, before rice dominated Asia, someone in the Fertile Crescent picked up a tiny orange seed and cooked it. That seed became the red lentil. It is not actually red, not naturally. It is a green lentil, split open, stripped of its skin, left to dry, and that process turns it the warm, burnt orange color you see in every grocery store today. Because the hull is gone, it cooks in 15 minutes, sometimes less. It dissolves completely into something thick and golden and almost silky. That is not a flaw. That is the point. Across South Asia, hundreds of millions of people eat it every single day, not as a side dish, as the meal, as survival, really. 26 grams of protein per 100 grams. Cheap, fast, ancient, and still, somehow, everywhere. Green lentil. Canada grows more than 60% of the world's lentil exports. Saskatchewan, a flat, cold, landlocked province most people couldn't find on a map, is the lentil capital of the planet. The green lentil made that happen. Unlike its red cousin, the green lentil keeps its hull. That outer skin is everything. It gives the lentil its firmness, its slightly peppery bite, its ability to hold shape in a soup for an hour without turning to mush. It takes 35 to 45 minutes to cook. No soaking needed. The flavor is earthy, almost mineral, a little like the soil it was pulled from. That is not poetic. That is literally the terroir of the lentil. In France, they took that idea seriously enough to write it into law. French green lentil. There is a valley in south-central France, Le Puy-en-Velay, where ancient volcanoes left behind soil unlike anywhere else on Earth. Basalt, mineral-rich, semi-arid, strange. And in that strange soil, a strange lentil grows. It is small, slate blue, almost marbled, and when you cook it, 20 minutes, maybe 25, it does something no other lentil does. It stays whole, completely whole. While everything around it softens, the Puy lentil sits there, firm, almost defiant. French chefs noticed this in the 17th century. French law noticed it in 1935. The European Union gave it full AOC protection in 1996. The same legal shield that protects Champagne and Roquefort. You cannot call it a Puy lentil unless it was grown there, in that valley, in that soil. The flavor? Nutty, peppery, deeply savory, worth every bureaucratic protection it has ever received. The first time someone served beluga lentils at a fine dining restaurant, a guest probably thought they were looking at caviar. That was the point. Each lentil is 2 to 3 millimeters across, deep black, and when cooked, they develop a faint, glossy sheen, like tiny beads of something expensive. They come from India. They have been grown in the subcontinent for thousands of years under the name urad dal. But at some point, someone in the West looked at them and thought, this belongs on a plate next to duck breast. And they were right. They cook in 25 minutes. They never fall apart. And inside that small black shell is something remarkable. More anthocyanins than blueberries. More antioxidant activity than almost any other legume. Beautiful, ancient, and somehow still underrated. Brown lentil. The brown lentil does not ask for attention. It has no AOC, no protected designation, no dramatic origin story involving volcanoes or caviar. It is just there, in every grocery store, on every shelf. Usually the cheapest option. Khaki brown, mild, slightly earthy, a little mushroom-like. And that total lack of ego is exactly why it has survived for 8,000 years. Archaeological evidence from present-day Israel dates brown lentil consumption to 6000 BCE. They were in Egyptian tombs. They were in Greek texts. They were in medieval European kitchens. Today in Egypt, they are the backbone of kushari, a street food made of lentils, rice, pasta, and spiced tomato sauce, eaten by millions every day from carts on the street. No one is impressed by the brown lentil. They just keep eating it. Yellow lentil. Strip a green lentil of its hull, split it in half, and you get something golden, warm, almost luminous. The yellow lentil is not a species, it is a process. The flavor changes too. Where green lentils are earthy and peppery, yellow lentils are sweeter, nuttier, gentler. They cook in 20 to 25 minutes and dissolve into thick, golden sauces that cling to everything. In Nepal, they are eaten twice a day, morning and evening, as dal bhat, rice and lentils, every single day. Not because there is no alternative, because there is no desire for one. In Bangladesh, the same. In Egypt, the same. The yellow lentil does not need to be exciting, it just needs to be there, warm, filling, and ready, which it always is. Masoor dal. The word masoor comes from Sanskrit. It is one of the oldest food words in South Asian recorded history, appearing in texts written over 3,000 years ago. That is not a small thing. Most foods disappear. Most ingredients fade out. Masoor dal did not. It is still, right now, in a pot on a stove somewhere in Bengal, Pakistan, Bihar, and probably 20 other places, simmering with turmeric and mustard seeds in hot oil. That moment, the tadka, is chemistry. Fat-soluble compounds in the spices dissolve into the oil, disperse through the dal, change the flavor completely. People have been doing this for thousands of years without knowing the science. They just knew it tasted right. 25% protein, 58% carbohydrate. Cooks in under 20 minutes. 3,000 years of consistent results. Chana dal. Technically, chana dal is not a lentil. It comes from the black chickpea. Desi chana, split, hulled, dried. But tell that to anyone who grew up eating it. It lives on the dal shelf. It is cooked like dal. It is called dal. So here it is. It has been cultivated in the Indian subcontinent for 7,500 years. Evidence found at Neolithic sites in Mehrgarh, Pakistan, one of the oldest agricultural settlements ever discovered. And here is the number that surprises people every time: a glycemic index of 8. 8. For context, white bread is around 75. Boiled potatoes are 78. Chana dal barely registers, which is why it has become critical in diabetic diets across South Asia. The texture is nutty, firm, slightly grainy. The flavor, sweet, rich, unlike anything else called lentil, simmered with whole spices and eaten with roti. Simple, exact, right, urad dal. There is a dish in Punjab called dal makhani. It cooks for hours, sometimes overnight. Black gram lentils, whole, not split, slow simmered with cream and butter until the pot looks like something that has been attended to with care and patience and time. That is urad dal in its whole form. Split it, remove the skin, and it becomes ivory white, unrecognizable. And something stranger happens. It turns sticky, almost glutinous, unlike any other lentil on earth. That stickiness is mucilage, a natural compound in the seed. And in South India, someone realized centuries ago that if you grind this sticky lentil with rice and ferment the batter for 12 hours, it rises, it bubbles, it becomes something alive. Idli, dosa, two of the most widely eaten breakfast foods on the planet. Both begin with urad dal, mung dal. Ayurvedic medicine is 3,000 years old, and for 3,000 years, when someone in South Asia was sick, really sick, they were given mung dal. Not because there was nothing else. Because mung dal was considered the gentlest food a body could receive, it is the most easily digestible legume known to nutritional science. The proteins are small, the fiber is soft, the flavor is mild, almost absent really, a light, slightly sweet broth when cooked thin. It takes 20 minutes. It does not demand attention. In Gujarat, it becomes khichdi, rice and lentils cooked together into something warm and uncomplicated, given to the sick, the tired, the homesick, and the same green mung bean, left whole, kept damp, sprouts into bean sprouts. Sold across China, Korea, Thailand, Vietnam. One lentil, two continents, 3,000 years of trust. Tur dal, pigeon pea. 7 million metric tons. That is how much pigeon pea the world produces every year, more than almost any other pulse on earth. Tur dal, split pigeon pea, is the foundation of sambar, the spiced tamarind broth served at nearly every meal in South Indian cuisine. Karnataka, Tamil Nadu, Andhra Pradesh. Every home, every restaurant, every meal. But beyond South Asia, something else is happening. In sub-Saharan Africa, where soil is thin, rainfall is unpredictable, and food security is fragile, the pigeon pea grows where others fail. Semi-arid, heat-tolerant, nitrogen-fixing, meaning it actually improves the soil it grows in. It was domesticated 3,500 years ago, possibly in India, possibly in East Africa. Researchers still argue what they do not argue. In a warming world, with shifting rainfall and exhausted farmland, the pigeon pea may become one of the most important crops on the planet. Pardina lentil. Spain has a lentil. Not a well-known one, not one that appears on restaurant menus outside the Iberian Peninsula, but in Castile and Aragon, in the cold, dry interior of Spain, the Pardina lentil has been grown for 2,000 years. It is small, speckled, gray-brown, with thin green streaks across the skin. The name comes from the Spanish word for that exact color, pardo, dull, muted, unassuming, but it holds its shape like the puy lentil, cooks in 25 to 30 minutes, and its skin is so thin and fine that you barely notice it. In Spanish winter cooking, it goes into lentejas estofadas, lentils stewed slowly with chorizo, paprika, bay leaf, and thyme. The kind of dish that requires a cold day to fully appreciate. The lenteja de la Armuña, grown in Salamanca province, carry a protected designation. Quiet, protected, earned. Section 13, Laird lentil. In the 1960s, the University of Saskatchewan had a problem. Canada had vast, flat, fertile prairie land. It needed a crop that could be exported, scaled, industrialized. So they bred one. The Laird lentil was engineered deliberately, carefully, to be large, consistent, and commercially viable. Named for the prairie landowners who would grow it. Designed for the global food system, not the family kitchen. It worked. Saskatchewan now produces 95% of Canada's lentil crop. And the Laird, large, gray-green, mild, is the lentil inside most canned soups in North America. The lentil in meal kits. The lentil in food processing plants. It will never be called the world's finest lentil. No one will write poetry about it, but it feeds more people, more consistently, than almost any other variety on Earth. And sometimes, that is enough.